Welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday, so that means that on this channel we are talking about fundraising auctions. Now, if you're new to the channel and you stumbled across, if you're interested in charity galas, you're interested in any sort of benefit auctions, please feel free to make yourself at home because that's what we talk about every other Tuesday. Now, a couple of videos ago, I started doing a series on raffles. So the first video that I did was on a 50/50 raffle. The second one was on a best of live raffle. You can go through my channel and find those if you're interested in them. But today I wanted to talk specifically about what's called a 10 chance raffle. And I wanted to bring this up because I just did an event where they are actively trying to eliminate their silent auction. I think this year we went to 40 items, and last year it was maybe 111. So they are reducing it, but they aren't making the same kind of money that they used to when they had more silent auction items. And so in visiting with them about some of their goals, I thought that this would be a good video to share because they're not the only one that's trying to get better returns out of their event, the reception part of their event, and yet they aren't necessarily sure how to navigate that. Silent auctions have a complicated history in gala auctions because they're so popular. And by popular, I mean they're popular with your guests. And I understand it. If I'm showing up to your event and I've gotten all dressed up and my beloved has gotten all dressed up, or even my friend, even if I just take a friend, when we get to that event, 60 to 90 minutes is going to go by before we sit down for the program. And it may be that we don't know anyone else at the event, or even if we do, maybe we're the first ones to arrive. And so as far as socializing goes, we may not want to socialize with other people there because we don't know them. So the activities that take place during the reception are what's going to keep us engaged. And silent auctions have tended to be the stalwart of making sure that that's the activity that everyone is centered on. However, you can change that. You can do different activities in the reception and still have something fun for guests to do. And that's where this falls into place. The procurement that you're going to have to do for this is really the same as what you would have to do for a silent auction. However, the numbers at the end are going to be better. So instead of getting maybe that 50, 65% return, maybe 70% return in the silent auction. That's not uncommon for a lot of people to be kind of hovering in that area. This is going to generate you 100% or more depending on how you structure it. That's pretty compelling for a lot of groups. So I've pulled these photos. This was an event that I did 13 years ago up in Michigan. Most of their reception area was devoted to these 10 chance raffles or unlimited raffles. I'll show you two different examples. However, they did have a very small section that was a silent auction as well. But they did such a fine job with the raffle piece of it. That's really what I want to focus on, is to share that with you so that you can consider how it might be beneficial to add into your event. So with that, let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at some of these photos. If you just walked into this place and started looking around, you would probably think, oh, look at their big silent auction. It's only until you get a little closer that you recognize what's going on. Or you may notice when you check in, because when you checked in, you would see this. This is what you would be handed, or something similar to it. Let's put it this way. This is an Avery label. I think it's a 5167. I can't read that number very well. This is not exactly what they used at their event. I'll show you what they used in a bit, but I wanted to pull something aside that you would have a sense of what was going to make the magic happen at this event. Every guest checking in received 2 of these, which meant they got about 84, 86 stickers with their bid number on it. Now, you could do this through mobile bidding, but I think it's much more effective if you're doing it as an activity that's hands-on that involves these stickers, which does mean more setup at the front end because you're printing out these stickers. As you see the photos, you'll understand why I'm saying that. Okay, so they were handed these stickers. Again, not exactly these, but you'll see what they were handed here in a bit. They walked into the silent auction, or excuse me, they walked into the reception, which looked like this. And as they walked up to a table, again, it still at this point looks pretty much like a silent auction. You're seeing something that looks like bid sheets here. It's only until you get closer that you realize it's not. So in this case, what do we see? Oh, lovely floral display, package 38. Let's zoom in and see what's going on. Display flowers, a flower arrangement each month for 1 year, a dozen roses for your anniversary, and a loved one's birthday. And what do we see there? It's $100 per line. So if I take my sticker and I put it on one of those lines, I'm agreeing to pay $100 towards this 10 chance raffle. If I feel like 8 is my lucky number, I'm going to put my sticker on number 8. If I think number 3 is, I will put my sticker on number 3. This is why I say this is more of a hands-on activity, because people are particular about where they put their stickers. People who gamble have lucky numbers, so we want to feed into that a bit when you're planning your auction. In this display, package 31, we see the Adirondack chairs, and close up we see 4 ergonomic resin Adirondack chairs with matching ottomans and 2 side tables. It is $20 per line to participate in this 10 chance raffle. Another package, package number 1, it's a 3-speed Sun Cruiser bicycle. There's the bicycle, and here we have the 10 chance raffle sheet, $35 per line to participate in this 10 chance raffle. If we zero in on a bid sheet that's actually got some numbers on it, this is what it looks like. You can see that the Avery labels that I told you about earlier, see how they chose to put the person's name on it as well as their bid number. You wouldn't have to do that, and I can think of some reasons as to why you might not want to do that, but this is how they chose to do it. And I can see right off the bat that Sherry, not me, but someone else, put her bid in twice. So on this particular item, she was willing to go in twice on her lucky numbers, 1 and 7. All the others, it looks like, put in for 1 bid. This event had a few what they called unlimited chance raffles as well. This is an example of one of them. It was a tall glass tube patio heater, $40 per line. I think they ran it up to 100 was the numbers that so they would take up to 100 bids at, or not bids, 100 buys at $40 per line. And again, we can see is where people were particular about their numbers, and they would choose to put their sticker on what they feel was the lucky number. If their lucky number was 42, I'd be willing to bet we could flip back and there'd be a 42 sticker. On this package number 45, it was a $1,000 money tree, probably a lottery tree, I don't remember, but I can see that it was $100 per line. Up here, $100 per line. And again, people are putting those stickers on what they deem to be their lucky number. So as we think about this for your event, this is allowing you to get 100% of value. If you price it right, you could get a little bit more. The procurement cycle is going to run about the same, but the returns are going to be higher. I think that it's a fun activity that allows people to go around and still shop. And the numbers then can be put up onto a screen later as to who won what, so that when they check out, they already know that they've got something and they need to stand in line to collect their winnings. So what do you think? Do you think this is something that you would want to try in your event? Do you foresee as where it could generate better revenues than what your current silent auction is doing? And would you want to try mobile bidding if you're using that kind of technology already? Or do you think it would be better to stick with the paper and Avery labels? If you decide to do it, I would love to hear how it works for you. Again, the 10 chance raffle or the unlimited buy raffle, various names can be used. Some of that might depend on your state rules and regulations as well. I'll see you in a couple of weeks talking about yet another raffle as we continue down through this series. And if you're looking for some other help, you can always visit my website at redappleauctions.com. The most popular download there is my auction item guide. Every year, I go through all of the results of the auctions that I worked the prior year, and I pull the top 100, the items that really get hands in the air, and I pull it into my auction item guide. So that's available. It's a free download on my website. So if procurement is your hot button and raffles aren't, you might find that to be more useful. Until then, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.